Hi everybody, Star Oracle here, and today's video I want to go ahead and do because of a few requests in my email for the placement I have in my astrological chart, and that is Neptune conjunct the Midheaven. I have Neptune conjunct Midheaven in Scorpio, 1-degree orb. That placement also is sextile to my Venus, Moon, and Pluto in the 8th house Virgo. Get to another part. Get to the 8th house stuff later. Anyway, Neptune conjunct the Midheaven. I'll kind of address both on a day-to-day basis and a more spiritual tone to it. No, God, that word spiritual is so grossly overused now. The 10th house, public image, career. For those who are, your basic astrologers, we know this. We know what it rules, what's personified and what isn't. Look to the opposite house to, escape your worries or woes or what have you. Public persona, workplace, interaction with others. Doesn't necessarily only have to be at work. You see this placement a lot with actors, which I will say I have enjoyed in my immediate past. I basically enjoy theater. I don't really subscribe to Hollywood acting. I think I enjoy the more thespian role to acting. Anyway, the more spiritual tone to this placement, some have called it the Christ position. Some people have said that folks with this placement tend to have psychic ability, which, I have my moments. Some people have said that this lends flavor to, people who work in the healing arts. So it's kind of a mishmash of your kind of everyday, how the 10th house is looked at, and kind of the other side of things and the more spiritual flavoring of the placement. So it's nice when I do meet counterparts who have the same position, because it is amazing how much in common when it comes to other people that this placement has. I would have to say most of my life I am either wrangled into or am prone to rumors, gossip, projection of someone else's inadequacies. You're a landing pad. You're essentially a landing pad for you being out there in public or with acquaintances. You have to be very careful with this placement when choosing friends and acquaintances. You have to be very careful. You need to be able to understand the psychology of others, yourself, the situation, why the situation is occurring, and if something kind of goes wonk, right? It's just not right, because I'll tell you right now, the two of my biggest pet peeves in life is gossip and backstabbing and rumors. I think those motives have got to be or all of them have got to be some of the grossest intentions and actions that are carried out by a human being. I'm not sure what in my chart is so repulsed By that, I'm guessing it's probably my Jupiter in the ninth house, because I am, you know, you be fair. You don't do that. People who talk at you talk about you. So anyway, always remember that. You're prone to, it could be a boss relationship. You're going to be the receiver of your boss's shit, whatever internal crap they're not willing to recognize, and it's being vomited on your plate. Um, it could be your father's, I believe it's your father's reputation or your family's reputation, how they might have been either looked at as, the family on the outside, the neighborhood family who's not really, the suburban squalor, right? The crazy, what do I call them? The crazy habitual people who, know each other's business. Your family may have been the family that's on the outside of the circle. So, the reason why I bring this up is because I had a couple of exchanges in email, a younger gal, and she's struggling with the fact that, Star, I don't understand. I constantly try to do my best. I'm an honest person. I go about, life very in a fair sense, and a lot of stuff just comes back on me that isn't necessarily mine. I need to tell you, if you're between the ages of, let's just say 16 to 30, and you have this placement, you need to understand that it is probably outside of your field of experience, and that you are simply a receiver of people's junk, because the MC or the MC, or I guess what we could call the zenith, right? The highest point in the heavens. Neptune's up there. It's like you get lost, meaning you you yourself, people don't see you, and uh-oh, gotta wait. Um, your persona kind of dissolves, and I can attest to this. I can tell you most of my most of my life, people don't see me. They don't. They see what they want to see, and of course, yes, in very basic psychology, someone could say, well, we're all just projecting. And it's like, well, yeah, if you got your schizoid self, playing its tape daily, then yeah, you might be doing that. But if you are aware of your interactions, and you're very aware of your receivers, how your receiver receives your input about said topic, whatever it may be, if it's about them, if it's about, their dog, whatever it's about. But anyway, you 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 get lost in the eyes of others. You're not seen. You're actually not even seen to authorities, although they say this placement can have the idea that you know you have qualities that don't go unnoticed, right? So if you're Neptune conjunct the midheaven, you're easy to pick out of a lineup, right? I completely disagree. Completely disagree. And it's great because I've had friends be with me when this happens, and if we're out or whatever, let's say, going and grabbing a food and beer, and the waitress will come up and look at me. Oh, can I take your order? I give my order, and then they take the order of a friend, and either two things happen. My order is always botched. I don't know what else in my chart would even point to like stuff like that. Or 9 times out of 10, and I started to point it out to a girlfriend. She's like, now I get it, Star. Now I get it. They come back and they say, forgive me, what was your order again? So, going back to the advice, be very in tune with your environment and be available to people's opinions. And when I say be available, meaning be available to protect yourself, because you will hear some of the strangest shit come out of people's mouths. I think my all-time favorite, and I know it's simply image or whatever, someone can know my familial background, and they can know, where I was brought up and where I went to school and this, that, and the other. And they'll say, oh, yeah, I thought you were Swedish. Yeah, no, like not at all. Like nothing even close to Anglo anything. That's my favorite. That's pretty much happened all my life. And then I usually get, why do you always look so pissed off? But I think that's 8th house stuff. I can almost guarantee you 8th housers out there get the same thing. I'm usually like really fucking happy kind of day to day. If I have a bad day, everybody knows it. It's pretty rare. And if I do have a bad day, I sort it out. I'm just kind of, easy going. I think it's the whole Jupiter in the 9th, Libra. So anyway, it truly is in your best interest to make sure that all of, hi puppy, what are you doing? No. What are you doing? You smell a birdie? You get a squirrel. I think it's truly in your best interest to understand and monitor your environment, as I said before, and be available, meaning being available to protect yourself from things that aren't yours, because that placement, it'll show up all your life. And I really thought, as I got older, I'm mid-40s now, but I thought as I got older, a lot of this might disappear because I'll be interacting with more mature people. No, it doesn't. If anything, it gets worse, because I think a lot of people who aren't very, I'm going to use the word, aren't very connected to self, get worse as they get older. Whereas I think people who are very, have spiritual leanings and very connected to themselves, grow at a quicker rate. I guess that's the way I want to say it. So, keep your image clean. Be very aware at what words come at you or what projections, even if they're compliments. Is, hey, take it easy, thank you, that's a really lovely compliment, but actually that's not what I'm like at all. So it's kind of managing that presence. And on the more spiritual side of things, if you do have tendencies to any sort of what would be called psychic ability, it's healthy to practice that stuff and possibly find someone else who has the same sort of talents and practice with them. There's nothing wrong with it. If someone's going to, say, oh, I don't believe in that stuff. Fine, let them. Great. Don't let that stop you. These people who are old, crusty, molded pie crust paradigm, they need to go anyway. It's like old shorts. You can clean them all you want, but they're still old. So anyway, that is my assessment for a Neptune conjunct the Midheaven. Take care of yourself, take care of your body, and watch out for those projections.